Hi, welcome to Squidzilla Inc. We're just going to do a quick comparison between Assaut Terminators and the new Bladeguard units. We're also going to talk about Tartarus Terminators, Cataphractii Terminators, Lightning Claw Assault Terminators, Standard Terminators.
Yeah, all of the different Terminators.
Yes.
Versus their new Primaris counterpart, Bladeguard. So, what do you think of Bladeguard generally?
So in our game today, I was moderately impressed with them, even though I rolled quite poorly. I will say that their unit size, only being capped at 3 men, does seem to hold them aback. I'd essentially shot a few of Tom's Terminators off the board beforehand, and it was a 3v3 fight, which I soundly lost.
Yeah. So you balanced the numbers, didn't you?
Yeah, we balanced the numbers, but the Terminators still came out top trumps.
Yeah.
Those Thunderhammers, I mean, they're relatively similar on points. We've got 35 points a man for Bladeguard. What we're looking at for a standard Assault Terminator?
Standard Assault Terminator, I think they're 42 points.
So you're looking at 7 points each. It's not massive, but
I mean, with it as they are and how we played them in this game, they are on the data profile with a 3-up invulnerable save.
yes.
So when that changes in the next few weeks,
Yes.
maybe I think it's probably going to be when the Codex comes out.
Yeah.
They're going to be the same, so they'll be 4-up invuln and +1 to their save. So that'll mean the Terminators, compared to how they used to be, they're less good against elite weaponry with high AP, but better against -1 AP weapons.
Yes.
Because of the additional +1.
Yes. Also, they're now going up to 3 wounds a pop, which will be the same as the Bladeguard, who also have 3 wounds.
Yeah.
I think the big difference between the two, though, is that Thunderhammer. Thunderhammer's hitting for 3 damage every time, even though you're usually hitting at a -1. Whether they keep that or not still remains to be seen.
I
would have thought they would.
I think
they would, because Thunderhammers are very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And comparing that off against the Mastercrafted Power Swords, which are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Strength 5, AP -3, 2 damage.
+1 strength.
Yeah, that +1 strength is really quite something.
2 damage. They were chopping when they did get into melee in their combat. The attacks that went through, only 2 went through, and he killed 2 Terminators, leaving the Sergeant Ajax alive.
To just smash all of them. Even the captain, who was stood there at the same time,
did
nothing.
And the captain was also in combat. It was Ajax that smited them, but he obviously failed his 4-up invuln.
Yes.
So, but the flat 3 damage chunked each one.
Yeah.
If we compare that though, so to obviously these are pure melee equivalents. So if we then look at something like the normal Terminators, either Tartarus, Cataphractii, or the normal Terminators.
Yeah.
I can't remember just normal
the
Terminators.
weird bull-faced ones.
Yeah, I don't like them. The Storm Bolters and the heavy weapons choices that you can bring.
Yeah.
And they have Power Fists.
Yeah. So they're still pretty mean in combat. Now, I have seen a leak which says that Power Fists are going to flat 2 damage instead of D3. So their potential is less, but it means that you're going to get a decent flat average. And it means, especially against Space Marines and all Space Marine lists, which I think, at least for the next 6 months, are going to be very, very prevalent in all sorts of tournament scenes or on tabletop scenes. So in the next 6 months, when we will be able to play any 2-wound weapons, such as the Mastercrafted Power Swords, you're going to see quite a lot of. I would quite like to see, instead of it being a unit of 3, a maximum unit size of 6. I don't know whether that will happen. I know it didn't happen with Infiltrators, but it did with Aggressors. It didn't happen with Inceptors. No, it did happen with Inceptors. It didn't happen with Suppressors, though.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to things like the new Outrider bikes, I think that's going to be squad size 3. I would be very surprised if that goes up, even though old Space Marine bikes, you could have huge squads of them. But I think that's to prevent people from going, right, I'm going to turn up with 18 attack bikes or Outrider bikes and just
ruffle stomp.
Just ruffle stomping everything.
You'll see if you watch back to the previous back row, we just filmed how well those Outrider bikes did.
And especially with Raven Guard being able to, I mean, I can just throw out a stratagem and then push myself right up the board. If I were to take them as a Raven Guard successor and use the same chapter tactics that Tom used in the previous video, then I could have been on top of him with 18 attack bikes.
Yes.
Very, very easily. So I don't think we're going to see more than 3 in a squad. But these guys, I think 3 in a squad, they're good. but they have limited use. I think if they went into, say, a squad of Incursors, a squad of Interceptors, they would be far better suited to doing that than to taking on something like a Terminator. So I don't think for now, I don't see them as replacing Assault Terminators.
No, Terminators got their place. The deep strike ability from the Terminators is still really, really useful.
Yeah.
I started with these guys on the board in my last game because I never have luck with deep strike charges. Even though I run them with Hungry for Battle, so I have +1 to the charge.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably should try it out in a game.
Yeah.
You know, I think next one I play, I'll bring 2 squads of Terminators.
We were talking before about having either a 1,500 or 2,000 point army when we both have all of that painted, as my Raven Guard are brand new.
It should be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be... this should be quite an interesting fight then. So,
on terms of the unit size again for the Bladeguard, I think they've specifically kept them at that size because of the Impulsor and because of the Repulsor.
Yeah.
So it's a 6-man cap. You can get 3 of them.
But then you can put 2 units of 3 in an Impulsor.
So you can put 2 units of 3 in the Impulsor.
Or 3 units of 3 in a Repulsor. So it doesn't make that much difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose...
Do they count as 1, or do they count... Because an aggressor armor counts as 2, doesn't it?
No, they just count as 1. They're just standard
Wow.
Marines. Which is very, very impressive. I honestly thought when I first saw the sculpts for them, because they are up-armoured, they've got the aggressor shoulder pads, and they do look significantly more chunky than a regular Marine does, as well as being on the 40mm base instead of the smaller bases. I was quite surprised that they weren't Gravis or something along the lines of Gravis,
unless
when they update the Impulsor rules sheet for it, unless they turn around and say it can only fit 2 Bladeguard and Gravis take up 2 slots. Or
I think my plan with that is to have 3 Bladeguard, the Bladeguard Ancient, and then the Judicar, and a Captain.
Yeah.
All in one, put the shield dome on it. That would be the only time I'd give it the shield dome.
Yeah, I suppose when you are really stacking heavy for characters, shield domes are fantastic. Apart from that,
every game I've played though, even on the long ways, because there's a lot of long length deployments in from what we played so far of 9th. 2 of my games, in fact, all of my games have been on the long side so far. And each time I've just disembarked them and moved them and charged. I haven't even used the transport capacity at all.
Yeah, you've just used it to harass my troops.
Yeah, so using Impulsor to, not what it's meant for.
Do you think we'll ever see smaller squads of Terminators to that? Or do you think we're always just going to stick with the 5-man standard? Because I'd quite like to see... It would be nice to be able to, because especially in a smaller game, we're very much for 500 to 1,000 point games. We usually play in a narrative format anyway, and taking a 3-man squad would be. It's not that much of an investment then.
It's more kill teamy, but I mean, from a lore perspective, they do come down in 5-man squads.
Yeah, true.
They like these guys, for example. Even though the Raven Guard have retreated and stuff from this match, sometimes if that Phobos captain, for example, was really important, they would have teleported down a unit of Terminators, maybe multiple units of Terminators, to recover his body and his gene seed and any relics, chapter relics. Raven Guard are Dark Angels are very renowned for teleporting Death Company to just recover relics and bodies to put them into sarcophaguses and that sort of thing. But
they're heretics anyway.
They'll come down, they'll smash down the teleportation, do their business, grab whoever it is, teleport back out again. So, in terms of how a boarding unit is, the Terminators are still going to be up there.
Yeah.
They have that teleport homer ability. They can just zoom in from ship to ship combat as well.
Yeah.
They're going to be ideal. These guys are going to rely on a transport.
Yeah. Whereas these guys can just go through the teleportarium array and just go straight in.
Are these are these speed 6?
They are speed 6, because they're just standard troops, so they are a little bit faster on the foot. Taking them as Raven Guard, I took the Master of Ambush Warlord trait on my Warlord, and it allowed me to deploy them 9 inches away from Tom's front line in the last fight, as you'll see when you watch it, and then move them. So they like a squad of 6 for me would be lovely, please. Yeah,
if you had 6, then that would have he would have ended the Terminators, probably killed the captain.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see a squad of 6.
But then at the same time, I could use that same stratagem on 10 Terminators.
Yes. So
I could take 10 Thunderhammer Terminators. I'd still be only having to do a 4-inch charge there.
yeah, and the points difference is about 60 points, is it, for the extra 2 guys?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
So
Yeah, if they change the Bladeguard unit, because obviously we've not seen any multi-part kits from them yet.
yeah.
So if they do multi-part kit, I would like to see some different weapon options.
Oh yeah, like if power axes, I genuinely think that power axes and power maces and stuff like that are soon to be phased out with the strength 5 power sword. Why would you take a power axe?
True.
Which is
Or
strength 5 AP
maybe
-2.
They might make them damage 3 or something.
Might make them damage 3, or might make them so they're strength 6. I don't know. So they may phase them out. It would be very cool to see axes on them. It would be even cooler to see Thunderhammers on them. But I think if they did put Thunderhammers on the Bladeguard with the increased number of attacks over the Terminators, I think the Bladeguard would win.
Probably. And the other option is that I think they might do a non-Storm Shield version.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they do a dual weapon unit.
Yeah. Sword and some kind of Storm Bolter.
Sword and pistol.
Assault Bolter.
Or 2 swords.
Yeah.
Get an extra attack or
Yeah.
something cool like
Would be
that.
spicy.
Special rule. Then they would
Like
still be called
Falcons
Bladeguard.
from Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'd probably have to rename them. If they brought out a
Yeah.
dual kit, they would go like, okay, like an Infiltrators kit, you get Infiltrators or Incursors.
Yeah.
The Bladeguard, you get Bladeguard or Axe Guard, whatever we want to.
Yeah.
But if they kept it as Bladeguard with just 2 swords or,
Yeah.
you know...
Or sword and a more potent weapon than a heavy bolt pistol, which was still...
The bolt pistol was good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that's the other advantage they have over these guys.
Yeah.
The way that pistols work now is that you can shoot in combat.
Yeah.
In 8th edition and in 9th edition.
Mm.
But Terminators don't have that.
Yeah.
And they were never having pistols. They usually traditionally have a Storm Bolter or a heavy weapon.
Yeah.
So, or go pure melee.
Yeah.
So
I think heavy weapons are, especially now that you don't suffer quite so much for movement when shooting heavy weapons, I think they're going to be seen quite a lot more. So just standard Terminator squads with an assault cannon, or now with the 12-inch flamer rules. I think seeing heavy flamers in there would be quite spicy.
Yeah. I think I might have to buy another
Stop
unit.
thinking about it for your salamanders. Jesus.
My salamanders, I'm going to love it. I don't have enough Terminators for my salamanders.
Yeah.
I only have 5 Thunderhammer.
I don't have any for my Raven Guard.
So
I was hoping that there'd be some Horus Heresy Raven Guard Terminators. That'd be nice.
No, they don't do Terminators.
No, but they're not.
They're not fast enough for them.
Why not? They can be sneaky.
Yeah, tactical tank armor.
I'm sorry. The Invicta Tactical War Suit is that takes all of that nonsense.
I love those memes with the great stuff. So
you can't see me. Ha, ha.
If we were to rate them out of 5, I would probably give the Bladeguard as they are a 4 out of 5. Because I'm thinking about the melee output, their survivability, the number of wounds, how fast they are.
Yeah.
They can be put in transports. And then I'd probably give Terminators probably a 3. So
Yeah,
Terminators.
I think the Bladeguard they're a lot more usable in game. These guys, if they have a target to hit, take them, because they will destroy whatever they touch.
Yeah.
The Bladeguard are more usable in a general setting game. You put 3 Bladeguard into a character, they'll probably kill it.
Yeah, they're more
unless
elite.
it's like something like Gazgul or something.
Yeah,
if it's Gazgul, take the Thunderhammers, because they will pull him apart.
But they're also falls to hit. That's the other thing,
Yeah.
is the -1 to hit on their weapons.
Yeah.
That's why you said 3 out of 5, is because
Yeah.
you either hit really hard with a unit of Thunderhammer
Or completely whiff it.
or whiff,
Yeah.
big time.
I mean, the stratagem, Fury of the
Yeah.
First, that can
I
really
spent that
make
every
up
turn,
for it.
didn't I?
Yeah.
Every turn. Because it has to. Force to hit on them.
Is really
You know.
tough. Also, with the Bladeguard Ancient, with these guys, you've got limited buffs you can put on them.
Yeah.
These already with the Bladeguard Ancient, who can give them +1 to hit in combat,
Yeah. They hit on 2s
and
then.
it's a banner anyway. So
Yeah. So
they
if
can
one of
be
them
really-
die, does it
they
do that
still
as well?
get to attack as well. So that's even spicier.
Oh, so stacking bonuses.
Yeah,
they would then go up to a 5, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Oh.
I do think the Bladeguard do squeeze out, but then at the end of the day, I do think a lot of what you're seeing now with the Space Marine Codex is more general purpose units than this is a tool to do this job. So your standard intercessors compared against a tactical squad. Tactical squads, you either have a rocket launcher, a las cannon, something like that with them, and that's job, and the rest of them are there as a shield for that guy. Whereas a unit of intercessors, they've just got more usability. So I think the Bladeguard, for just general purpose for your games, your Bladeguard are your safe bet.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that a squad of 3 of them is only 105 points.
It's great.
It's dirt cheap.
And you can get them at the minute. They will bring out a separate box set for them, but the minute you have to get the Command Edition or the Elite Edition of the current
or a full
box
Indomitus box set.
If you were lucky enough to get an Indomitus box, you managed to get some on eBay, didn't you, extras?
Yeah.
Well, these are sold separately. So from a starter, if you're new to this hobby, getting the Bladeguard in one of those sets will do you well.
Yeah.
The Terminators are a bit more specialist.
Yeah.
I think against certain against vehicles and stuff, I would rather use them. But yeah, I think you're probably better off sticking with the Bladeguard as a beginner.
I think if I could choose even just as a squad of 3, if I could choose between the two, I'd always go for Bladeguard.
Yeah.
As a general unit. In much bigger games, I'd throw in a few Terminators.
There you go.
I might even think about it.
Well, we're both going to get some more Bladeguard. On that note, if you've not checked us out before, we're Squidzilla Inc. We're doing painting podcasts, we're doing battle reports, we're on Twitch, we're on Instagram. So if you want to check us out, check in the bio below. And if you want to see the battle report that we did for including these 2 units, check out here. Just click that link there. And we'll be doing more of these little breakdowns of units. So hopefully we'll see you all soon.
If you like our content, please give us a subscribe and a follow and help out with the channel.
Oh, for sure. Catch you later. Here we go.
Just do the macaroni.
Macaroni.